All right, welcome back to the Tuesday show. My name is Ultra David. This is James Chen.
How's everybody going?
So we would like to talk about a current game that is under development, name of Killer Instinct.
Yep. I was actually just having a conversation with Max about it yesterday and today. And, I've brought up this concern. Honestly, the game is coming along pretty decently, right? I mean, everybody who's managed to get their hands on it says it's very fun. And I really want a U.S. developer who's making a fighting game to succeed.
100%.
Because that's what we need. That's one of the main things that we need. So I'm actually, I rooted for Injustice for a very long time. I think Superman messed that up. Man. Superman.
It's so unfortunate that game's top tier happened to be like Superman and Black Adam and Aquaman. Just like, yeah. It's not even just that, dude. It's Black Adam throwing lightning from a million miles away, and then it's Aquaman like doing some pounds in the ground from a million miles away. It's like,
exactly.
Unfortunately, that just happened to be the top tier until the patch. Whatever.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And so, Killer Instinct. Okay, it's the next chance.
Yeah.
Big game. Hype for it. Gonna be on a new console. Granted, not the greatest console, but still, at least it's a first gen kind of fighting game.
Yeah.
Trying a new interesting sales model.
Totally.
Lots of cool ideas and stuff like that. I want the game to succeed, right?
Of course.
But from what I've seen of it, I have this worry that it's going to be sort of cross-Tekken-ish, in which all the people who play cross-Tekken enjoy it. They enjoy playing it. It's a fun game to play, but it's not a fun game to watch.
So Maximilian has put up match videos of KI on his YouTube channel. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, so it's funny. I think he put those up there might have been spurred by the discussion that I had with him before, because yesterday I was talking to him about it, and I was just like, I'm worried the game doesn't look any fun. I'm not saying that it doesn't look fun. It's just that it's going to be bad for viewers. Because the thing about it is, once you get hit by a combo, there's tons of mind games. There's like half the game is the combo system,
right?
Which is the combo breakers, and there's counter breakers, and if you mess up, then you can build up those green bars so you can do more damage with your ender.
Right.
If they lock themselves out. And what I just said is, maybe the first time you see a counter breaker, you're like, oh, but after a while, that's not going to be that exciting anymore. And then when someone guesses wrong and an exclamation mark appears above their head, that's not hype. That's not exciting, right? And the other problem is everybody's combos looks just the goddamn same combo. That's it. That's the whole combo.
Pretty accurate sound effect, I would say.
Right?
Pretty accurate sound effect.
That's the whole combo. That is literally the entire... Everybody does the same combo. Sadira does a few more flippies, whatever. It's the same combo. You're just hitting them a bunch of times.
Okay.
And when you do the skillful things like the manuals, dude, nobody can see if they're doing manuals or whatever like that. I mean, sure, Marvel might get kind of stale because you see impact palm loops over and over again, but Deadpool's combos don't look like Doctor Strange's combos, don't look like Zero's combos, don't look like Doom combos, don't look like Virgil combos. Everyone's going around everywhere and up and down, up and down.
Okay.
And there's even the supers in Killer Instinct don't look too flashy. They're just like all of a sudden everything slows down and a guy does like a shadowy kind of move or something like that. But I don't know. I'm worried about the game from a viewer standpoint.
I don't know that much about the combo system, to be frank. I remember when Marvel 3 came out, people had a similar kind of complaint. Oh, everybody's just going to be doing 1, 2, 3 launch, like
and then
everybody's
air combo finisher,
MMHS,
OTG Super,
OTG Super. Everybody
was
doing the same thing for a week until people stopped doing stuff like that. Can it be different in KI?
I mean, the interesting thing is, so whenever people start getting juggled, so you always have that. The interesting thing about Marvel is that the way the combo ends is because of hit stun deterioration. In Killer Instinct, it's kind of a similar system.
Yeah.
There's a little bar that fills up under your combo meter, and when it fills all the way up, there's ways to reset it. I don't know exactly how that works, but I've seen combos where it gets reset. But apparently when you juggle the opponent, it builds up the fastest.
Okay.
So in other words, what you're doing to them on the ground is going to be the bulk of your combo.
Okay.
And all of Marvel's variety comes from this.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
So,
in other words, Killer Instinct, if you figure out a way to extend combos, it's still going to be... I'm still going to be just beating up on them, standing there. right? And so if half the game turns out to be the combo system, half the game ends up two guys beating each other standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm concerned about that.
You don't see that much evolution in combo.
I mean, the combo
stuff.
can be evolved, but it's just going to look the same every single time.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if we're going to get a Marlin Pie swag.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know if we're going to get... Dude, you saw that combo that Zach Bennett did to Apology Man that they put on Broken Tier?
Probably. I don't remember that.
Dude, like with Doom, he's like, did foot dive
and
land.
stuff?
Yeah, and then threw one missile, and then OTG'd,
Oh,
and then
okay.
the missile
I
came,
did
and
see
then
that.
yeah, dude, that was like ridiculous, right? So, I'm worried about that. It might be very fun to play.
Okay.
And in fact, most of the people who have had a chance to play it say it's very fun. So the concern that I really have is that everyone's combos are the same, right? Like, can you picture it? What if Glacius, they designed him to be the Dalsum character,
Yeah.
right? What if he hit you with a move and his auto double, the easiest one to break, automatically did one close to him, and then medium and light did the auto double far away from him? So in other words, if he hits close up to the opponent and does an auto double that's easy to break, that's the only one that'll reach him, right? So his auto double that's easy to break will be close up. So if you hit him close up, you can only do the obvious breakable one, which means all of his best combos are from far away. So now you have this distance game that you have to play. I want to hit them far away so I can keep doing this combo to him over there. And I'm weak up close combos. But Glacius, this keep away character, once he hits you, he charges into you and then just starts doing the same thing as everybody else, right? What if Sadira just, when she hits you on the ground, while she's grounded, the meter builds up the fastest. But if she's in the air, it builds up slower. So she has to figure out ways to flip, dive, web dive, stay in the air, and juggle you more than other characters. I just feel like that kind of variety we need, that is what the game needs right now. Because once the combos connect, everybody's mind games is the same.
It seems like it.
You know, that's the concern that I have. So I would like to see that kind of variety in the game, because then when you watch Sadira play, it'll just be a cooler. And then if you think about it, she could take advantage of juggling people better. So she hits you out of the air while you jump. She can do stuff. So she's deadlier to jump against because her juggles build up slower.
Okay.
You know, Glacius has to hit you from farther away.
I see what you mean.
You know, stuff like that. Or maybe like, what if they put in a mechanic kind of like the old KOF games where you hit someone from the back, you can do better combos.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what Saberwolf does. So if he dashes behind you and hits you, your reels are longer, so we can do better combo. You know,
that
stuff
sounds
like
pretty
that.
sick,
That's
actually.
the kind of stuff that I would like to see.
That sounds pretty cool.
But yeah,
I like. Okay, I think that sounds cool. From my perspective, I never look too much into combos until like I need to. You know what I mean? That's my philosophy on combos.
Yeah.
If I need to do it, I'll do it.
But this game is all combos.
No, I know. But the neutral game, actually, when I was watching those Max videos, looked kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I saw Glacius versus Sadira, and I thought it looked kind of cool. Like, Sadira has this cool movement option. She's hopping around. Glacius, doing limbs from afar. He has this like thing that he puts up into the air, and that all looked pretty cool. The unfortunate thing from my perspective as somebody who is not a big combo guy was that was a quarter of the round at most. And it could just be that that's how these two players are playing. Maybe the game when it evolves will be more about the neutral game rather than combos. I don't know. But just from seeing it, I feel like the part of the game that I care about was the minimized part.
No, like I said, there was one stream I was watching with Bucktooth playing, and it was a Sadira Glacius match as well.
By the way, so obvious that he has his hand in Sadira. Am I right? Like the way that she's designed is like.
But I mean,
it's cool. I mean, she's a cool looking character in the way that she plays.
Actually, it might have been it was Sadira Glacius. It was a good looking match. Like they were playing a very zoning kind of game and stuff like that. Maybe the matches that we saw that on Max's channel aren't exactly like, maybe they're very average level play or something like that, right? So it could definitely advance a lot further. I would like them, because that's the problem. See, the way that I looked at Killer Instinct is you have to have combo breakers. If the game doesn't have combo breakers, it's not Killer Instinct, right?
Okay.
But combo breakers are a fundamentally anti-competitive concept. They're just a really bad concept, because there's no real way to put it in there unless you put a lot of mind games and a lot of basically what Killer Instinct did, Ki3 did, was the right way to incorporate combo breakers.
Okay.
It's building this giant mind game around it. So what they did with combo breakers was absolutely the correct thing to do.
Okay.
You know, building the damage on the enders, so you have to risk this combo.
Right.
They did a great job, but you concentrate so much on the combo system, you don't have time to deal with the neutral game.
Okay.
So if you have a crappy character like Shinko going up against an amazing character like Virgil, it really kind of stops mattering, because once they hit, the combo breaker system becomes the mind game. You see what I'm saying? It's like the character differences kind of disappear once that happens. Obviously, the more times you hit them, the more times they might lock themselves out, which means you can build up more damage, etc., etc. But the combo breaker as a game mechanic requires so much concentration and work to make it a balanced concept that I feel like it causes people to ignore the neutral game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I hope that doesn't happen. I guess
Yeah.
it comes out so soon now.
Yeah.
A month from now, something like
right.
that. I don't know how much more work they can put into it for
probably
release.
not much.
I wouldn't think
at
so.
This point.
I know that they've said that they can patch the game without needing to like put things through to Microsoft, etc.
Right.
Like you have to in current gen. So maybe they're just gonna keep like working right through.
I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of things. Like when I saw the Evo build, you remember one of my biggest complaints is that it's so zoomed in and the characters were just like it felt claustrophobic. And you can see in like the latest video from Max, it's way better. It looks like a fighting game now.
Yeah.
In fact,
it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really good. The game looks fantastic. Like I said, there might be a lot more higher levels of gameplay, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more variety on the combo system. But again, that's a lot of work that you have to put in to make it do that. You know what I mean? So maybe as the game keeps, because let's be honest here, the first version of every game sucks. Right? I mean, that's kind of the history of everything, right? CVS 1 was pretty bad. Alpha 1 was terrible, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of room for this game to go.
Okay.
There's a lot of room for this game to go.
Okay.
So even if it can establish a decent enough base so that, you know, as the patches keep coming out, you know, it fixes a lot of the issues and stuff like that. The only thing that I'm scared of is the reason why I'm so concerned is because it's very obvious to me right now from a viewer standpoint. I look at all these fighting games from a spectator standpoint now. I consider it as important as the gameplay standpoint just from an FGC standard, right? The timeouts in Cross Tekken and Superman have done like irreparable damage to the games.
Those two plus Dive Kick are my two favorite fighting games of the past few years, and I'm kind of assed out, I guess. Unfortunately, it sucks.
I mean, it sucks because when Injustice comes on, everyone always does Resident Sleeper. Dude,
it's such a fun game, people.
It's only when Superman, like everyone else looks fun.
It's not even, Superman doesn't have to be played that way. Like Slayer won the last week's Wednesday Night Fights by like going in and like doing stuff, and he had these like resets and crap. But people don't. You're right. It's already irreparably damaged.
Right, and that's what I'm scared about.
See what these people are doing over here? Look at this.
See, this is nice. That's why I'm scared for Killer Instinct right now. Because, yeah, games have chances, but these days, it's tough. It's rough, so.
Yeah. I mean, maybe when Microsoft comes out with a non-Kinect version of Xbox One, I'll end up playing it. I don't know when I'll play it otherwise, perfectly honest. I don't really want to go over to somebody's house and say, if you don't like unplug your Kinect, I'm out of here. Like, I don't want to be in that position in the first place. I don't want to make somebody do that. So like I don't know when I'm gonna have contact with that console. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
Okay. Should we take another break then?
Let's take another break.
All
When we come back, we have a couple more things to talk about before the end.
All right. See you guys in a bit.
Okay, welcome back. So did you get a chance to read Pat the Flip's article on shoryuken.com?
Yes, I did.
This article was an article where he interviews Seth Killian, who wrote many years ago a series of articles called Domination 101 that are kind of the groundwork for a lot of the kind of theoretical approach to fighting games. It's stuff that people had talked about for a while, but that nobody had really like set down in like long form articles until then. It was a good dozen years ago, I would say.
So many of the
while
concepts
ago.
that are even mentioned in there, like space control.
Yeah.
Dude, he made that up in that article.
Yeah.
No one talked about it, even as a concept. I mean, I had played fighting games forever, and I read that article. I was like, whoa, this is so crazy to see it. Someone write it down, you know?
Philosophy professor writing stuff down. Who would have thought about theory? It's pretty cool. Yeah. And in fact, when I was in college, Berkeley has this program where anybody can teach a class. It's called DECAL, Democratic Education at Cal. And all you have to do is have a lesson plan and approach any faculty member with it. And if the faculty member endorses it, you're good. You can teach this class. So class that I took was about fighting games. And we had classes where we read like Sun Tzu, and we had, seriously, we had labs. Our lab was at the arcade. We had we brought like CVS2 in and played it on console. One of the things we read was the Domination 101 series, and it was like definitely a big part in my transition from scrub to better player, reading these articles, getting a better grasp on a lot of concepts that I hadn't thought about or that I had only kind of briefly thought about.
That's so cool. So just in case people don't know, Sun Tzu is he wrote The Art of War, which is pretty much like it's like the greatest handbook ever, like for war. And there's just like so many things. It's like someone writing stuff down that you're like, oh my god, totally, right? And you know, I've even heard like sports coaches read it, you know, and stuff like that. All sorts of
business
things like
people read it, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of people read it.
And then also Domination 101. They are all on Shoryuken.com still. You have to go to the forums though, and they're written up as a post. So Ponder, aka Tony Cannon, reposted them in a Domination 101 forum. So all the posts are by Ponder, but the articles are written by Seth. So,
I see. Yeah, man, decals, by the way, are super rad. Classes include like philosophy of The Simpsons. There still is, I think, a class on StarCraft in very much the same vein as the fighting game one.
There's a very famous video footage from one particular StarCraft class floating around on the internet.
I don't think I even know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. I'll
Another class was there were like male and female sexuality courses that like every year devolved into like just orgies at the professor's house afterwards. I'm totally serious. Totally, I was never involved in that. But that was
sure, yeah.
Berkeley's
you were the professor of that class,
place.
right? You were the professor
Crazy
of that
place.
class, dude. Seriously.
In fact, there were people who got kicked out relating to that. I think they shut those classes down after I graduated. Anyway, so I read all about Domination 101. So it was really cool to see this article by Pat, where he interviews Seth on revisiting the Domination 101 articles, and he asks Seth, you know, what would you do differently? What was your thought going into it? Your tone? I'll ask him about all these.
So if you guys haven't had a chance to read it yet, this is written by Seth Killian. This is not the Seth Killian you know of today. This was Seth Killian from back then, where he basically calls everyone scrubs and monkeys, and like he goes in on you. And it's really interesting because that's why this interview was so fascinating to me, because Pat asks him about that, and you know, Seth actually gets a chance to talk about how back then it was a different time, because he's right. I always remember in the Shoryuken days, there were always people who would jump on the forums and be like, I could beat Alex Vai. I could beat them, blah, blah, blah. I could beat this guy. Like, you would release those rare match videos, and they'd be like, I could beat this guy free, you know. What if I did? And one time I was, like, arguing with someone on a thread, and I was like, you're not going to beat them. He's like, well, what if I came and did? I was like, I would congratulate you. But you're not going to beat him, so...
Dude, I don't know if this still happens. Probably does, but it was very common to see people do a whole set of just theory fighting, whatever. Like, oh man, what if I start the round with this? Well, then I would do that. Well, but then I do this. Well, but then I do that. And it was like this ridiculous game of tag. You know, like, that happened all the time. Anyway, it was a mess. It was a mess.
And so...
Barbarians.
You had to talk to people that way back then.
Yeah, that's how people spoke.
Like now, we have forums that are like the noobs forum, be nice to everybody kind of stuff, because that's what we have to do. But back then, the people who jumped to SRK were there because they specifically were there to read about fighting games. They weren't someone entering the scene or anything like that.
Right.
These were people who were the king of their arcade.
Right.
They bodied everybody with one tactic. They did low jab throw. Nobody knew how to beat
Right.
that. And so they're just like, I'm going to body everybody with my low jab throw tactic. Yeah.
I remember this one post about this guy who talked about how he would play Dictator earlier in SF2 days, and he was unbeatable. Nobody could beat him. And I was like, what did you do? And he was like, oh, dude, if you just do slide on their wake up, like, they can't block it. They'll just lose every time. Just do slide. I was like, all right, you just want me to do down roundhouse as they're getting up every time. And he was like, yeah, dude, I mean, I'll win all these tournaments. I'll just go. That's the state. That was the state of things, dude, at the time.
Yeah, I talked to some coworkers a long time ago. They're like, I'm so good at Street Fighter. I'm like, really? Yeah. Just walk up to them and hit hard kick right next to them, and then down hard kick. They can't block it. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, sure. Yeah.
So anyway, it was a Wild West.
Yeah.
And the articles were written at a time when that I guess helped kind of introduce new concepts and kind of served as foundations for others. And it's been an important part of why we find technology faster now. We have, it's the set of knowledge that we've developed as fighting game players. It goes back to that and before that too, but that was a big moment in it, and that the growth has continued since then. So now we know more about the games, we can play them better, we can look into them better, all those things, and these articles were a big part of that process.
Yeah, even interesting, like I always mentioned how Daigo used option selects in Super Turbo, specifically against Honda.
Right.
He would knock him down, safe jump roundhouse, uppercut, right? If he ever did headbutt or butt splash, he would beat it, else he would block the jump roundhouse, right? We had no name for that. We were just like, this is a cool thing. Like, this happens. And because we had no name for it, there was no terms, it was just it was a Ryu versus anti-Honda trick.
Right.
But nowadays, it's like you jump into a fighting game, what option selects can I think of? You know, like we're trying to develop option selects right away, you know? And
people don't think about it, but language is a huge part of the body of knowledge that we've developed, and words themselves are helpful to people sometimes. So you're totally right to bring this up.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't have a term for an option select kind of hindered us in our ability to find new ones because we just didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't think of it as something that was like a game-wide property. It was just a trick.
It was a specific Ryu versus Honda trick.
Exactly. So now that we know what this is, we look for it more. That's how it is. And we find, dude, in Injustice, I see people who I don't think are particularly good posters on Test Your Might come up with option selects now. It's just that's just like what happens. It's a basic thing nowadays, and that's again part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Pat the Flip did do this interview. It's really interesting. If you haven't had a chance to read the 101 articles, please do so. If you haven't had a chance to read this interview, do so as well. And at the same time, I really do have to take the opportunity to plug Pat the Flip, who's at Pat the Flip, all one word, on Twitter. He's been doing an amazing job with the media stuff that he's been writing. He interviewed Seth Killian, and it wasn't, how was your job at Capcom?
Right.
You know, he specifically tackled the Domination 101 articles. He interviewed one of the voice actresses from Skullgirls. He interviewed like a sports psychologist one time, and dude, he's doing all sorts of cool stuff.
Bears, baby, yeah. He went to Berkeley.
Yeah. So definitely shout outs to him.
In fact, he might have been in that class. Was he in that class?
Which was the orgy class?
You'd have to ask him about that. But no, the Street Fighter class. I forget. I don't remember if he was or not.
But yeah, he's doing an amazing job. He's doing a great job. And I did throw out one little shots fired on Twitter. I have to do it again.
Yeah.
That was a pretty long interview. Pretty good that, he posted it all at once instead of splitting it up into multiple articles for absolutely no reason. Okay, but that's all I'm going to say. I don't get it. That's fine.
Okay, fine. What did you think about what Seth said about Daigo? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so what Seth said was that Daigo is not playing the set play Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
He is picking Ryu intentionally and staying away from that stuff intentionally because it's not how he wants to play Street Fighter. What are your thoughts about that?
It's really interesting because, he tried to not play it off as character loyalty, but in a way that is kind of character loyalty, because when a character can provide you with the way that you want to play, that's kind of why you get character loyalty in a lot of ways. So I actually feel like what Daigo is describing is a lot of character loyalty, because Daigo wants to play a way in which he has control over every situation. This is why I've always said Ryu is a great beginner character, terrible middle character, and amazing expert character, because he has no shenanigans to rely on. But he has an answer in every situation. He's one of the rare characters that there are almost no places that you could put him in where he's forced to take something, because he has a great sweep, an uppercut, he has a projectile, so you can't turtle on him, So, in a way, I think Daigo needs to play a character like that, because he is such an expressive player. He has so many different ideas. If Daigo played a character like Yan, who's one note, who's just very offensive based, I just don't think that fits his style. Even if it would be better for him, I think he would do better with Ryu than he would with those other characters. So I still think, while it was tried to be dressed up in all these different ways, it just feels like character loyalty to me. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused by it, because it seems to me like Daigo does so much in terms of optimizing his play. And this is something that Seth also said. He said that Daigo no longer plays the optimization game, but I just don't think that that's true. I think that he optimizes almost all of his gameplay. He finds very particular spots on screen, stuff that we identified against Infiltration, but it's something he does in all his matchups against all the players he plays against. He has spots on screen not just for a character, but for players. I mean, he's very specific about this. He has optimized combos. He knows all of the set plays because he blocks them. I mean, he doesn't get hit by it. Like, I mean, really, like we saw him play against Shen in that first to 10. We saw him play against Infiltration in that first to 10. Those are two characters that have those set plays, especially Gen. And he just didn't get hit by that stuff. So he clearly has put in the work.
Yeah.
So, well, if that's the case, why stop halfway through the set play game? Ryu has some. I mean, it's not like he's not the kind of character that has them all over the place, but he has them, and yet he never goes to it. And I don't think that's a strength. I think to have the strengths that he does have, the excellent reads, excellent pinpoint spots, all that stuff, but also the unblockables and the ambiguous setups, that combination I would think would be even stronger. So I'm confused why he doesn't do that. I just feel like maybe Seth's right, he just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
If that's accurate, I feel like that's unfortunate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think might be just a combination of everything, really. Because like I said, I know Daigo just has a lot of familiar with that character. And, when you do just... The Vortex really is just kind of a guessing game, right?
Sure, it is.
I mean, that's what Seth said, Daigo said, right? He just doesn't like instigating a guessing game, where the setup is pretty safe.
He wants to beat you at a maximally interesting game, so he plays in what he considers the most rewarding way for him personally. Maybe.
I mean, like I said...
I just think that's less efficient.
Like, it's weird. I like playing pixie characters.
Yeah.
But I also like playing grapplers, right? So it seems like it's like, how does that make sense? I play the game because I like to try to get in, right? I like to try to break the defense. So that's why Zangief Guile has always been one of my favorite matches, which is why
I agree with that.
My Cammy is not great in Street Fighter 4, because I try to play an in-your-face rushdown Cammy, which was super style. She's not like that anymore. She's very much pick your spot, throw you, kill you, right? And that's why I'm better at Super Cammy, because she was more designed for that style, and why I haven't been able to haven't been able to do well with Cammy since then, because I'm not playing to her strengths. So, I have a specific style that suits me, my personality, and that's trying to get in, and I just enjoy that, so... I won't be playing Guile anytime soon. Let's just put it that way. So.
Yeah, well, I have my own style choices too. I'm a grabber and a trapper. Those are my two things, man.
Especially with big ugly robots.
If I can do that, for example.
Dude, I'm surprised. I mean, did you always play Mech Zangief when you had the chance?
No, never.
See, that's what's weird. It's perfect,
you know why?
Right? Why?
I don't care about costumes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay.
But if Zangief came as Mecha Geef, sure. If it was just like, if I unlocked a color and one of the colors was Mechanical Zangief, yeah.
But you make the effort to go... Well, if Mechanical Zangief is already unlocked on a system that you happen to be playing on...
I never look into it because I just don't even think about it, but...
Because you definitely go out of your way to get to the red colors.
No, not anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah. I used to be very particular about color choice. If I didn't get red Q or all white cream Q, I'd be mad. But
Dude,
or if I didn't get roundhouse Honda, for
color is
example,
so
or
important.
jab Zangief finesse.
Color is the most important thing. That's why.
You were probably one of those barbarians who picked like blue Geef or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Blue
really?
Geef was the best.
No, it's
But
not.
see,
It's the
that was
clown color.
That was the worst thing. So Cammy was my favorite character in Super Turbo. My favorite color was forward, and in HDR, forward was the only color that was messed up.
Yo, roundhouse is the best color
For Zangief?
for Cammy.
Oh, for Cammy? That was which one was roundhouse?
It's like gray and red.
Okay, I do like that one.
like that one?
I do like that one, but the blue one's the best.
It's just not the best. Speaking of cool robot trap characters, I'm gonna start working on this whole compendium of Lex tricks in Injustice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff.
A lot of people have been doing good work over on the Lex forum at Test Your Might. A lot of really cool setups, actually. A lot of really good players in there. And I have my own. I have a whole Word doc that's all like arranged and stuff. So I'll start working on that. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else?
I didn't want to mention the Smash documentary. I want to mention Smash. Unfortunately, neither of us have had a chance to sit down and watch it. But I've heard it's really good. It's really hyped. Very well made. It's 5 hours long, divided into 9 parts. So each part is going to be a little over 30 minutes. So it's going to take a little bit of effort to watch, time-wise, in other words. But I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. But everybody that I've seen who has watched it has nothing but good things to say about it.
Right.
And so I'm definitely going to try to find the time to watch it. But I mean, you know how we are, dude. Like, we have to cancel shows. I mean, I have to call into a work meeting in half an hour right now.
Yeah.
I purposely scheduled a meeting at 10:30 so that I could call in after this show is done. Yep.
Work life, man.
Yep, exactly. So,
Well, hopefully we'll both have gotten a chance to see it at least a little bit before next Tuesday so we can talk about it a little bit. I mean, we'll see. But in the meantime, go check it out if you haven't. I'm sure links are available on Sure You Can in Event Hubs and whatever else.
Yeah. And the Show That Sucks should be going on right now.
Should be starting up, yeah. Show That Sucks with Hanzo Gonzo and Harrison should be on. It's at twitch.tv/iplaywinner. Our videos from last night are already up on YouTube, so please go check them out if you are interested in First Attack and Level 3 Focus. This video will be out hopefully tomorrow.
Yep. And once again, to reiterate, there is no drama between Ultra David and Jane's Chen.
Did you say Jane's?
That's what it says on the Reddit thread.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I thought you were just saying that to try to imply that there was still beef between us because you're not Jane's Chen.
No.
I thought it was like a nice little...
No,
okay.
no, it actually says that. The title has Ultra David and Jane's Chen.
Wow. Why did we even... I just thought it'd be funny. We've spent way too much time on this stupid Reddit
fair
thread.
enough. Okay.
All right, anyway, we're going to sign off. Go check out The Show That Sucks.
All right. Oh, that's on twitch.tv, iPlayWinner. Okay, peace out, everybody.